We got some stuff coming up in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about Waiting in the Wings. Now, this is an event that's taking place on the 2nd of August. Tickets are 70 Rand. You can book it quick. The reason I'm telling you about this is we're going to speak to the people who are behind it, the people who are making it happen. And it's a show that they're doing really to support the artists who are struggling at the moment to find work. So,
but you know why I particularly like these people? They have sat down with their peers in the performance industry and they're like, actually, we like what we do. We aren't waiting for handouts. We don't just want handouts. We like what we do and we want to get to perform again. And so they don't want any sort of government funding, because for corporate artists, I didn't know this up until, they started emailing me as well. Corporate artists aren't able to apply for any funding because with this government funding, you have to show proof of loss of earnings.
Oh, yeah?
Now, if you work in, being booked for a company event or some end of year function, you're waiting for that call. You don't have any sort of proof. So these guys have been sitting with nothing at all that they can do. So they're like, screw it. We're just going to put on these shows and, people are going to enjoy it. So I say kudos to them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They've raised close to 200,000 rands with these shows.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I remember we spoke to Greg Walsh about the events industry not so long ago, and they've got that fund as well, which is there to help people. They've raised a couple of 100,000 Rand too, which is terrific. So it's great to see that even though everybody is pretty tight in terms of their finances at the moment, they can still support the arts, and they can still support events and other areas of the economy that are taking a bit of strain. So I want to talk about these people because I think that Sia makes a very good point. They love doing what they do. Megan Victor Carlse and Owen Lanza, who are the directors of Open Spaces, are going to join us. And, the show has to go on, right? That's what they say in entertainment. But I think we need to find out, because Waiting in the Wings South Africa has raised almost 200,000 Rand since the beginning of lockdown, and they're putting together an online concert, which we'll tell you about in a second. So let's speak to them. Let's say hi to Megan Victor Carlse and to Owen Lanza. How are you guys?
Hey, Gareth. How are you?
Lovely. What's happening there, Owen?
Freezing.
Where are you, in Cape Town?
No. In Greenside in Johannesburg, not too far from you.
Oh, it's just up the road from Leanne. Do you have any spare cigarettes? Because she's looking for some.
Sorry, I don't smoke, Leanne. I'm too clever for that.
Oh. And the thing is, Leanne would have knocked at your door in exactly 7 minutes.
Hey, Megan, how are you?
I'm good. What's happening?
Yeah, you look terrific. You look way better than the rest of us this morning. Did you especially do you get out of bed with hair like that?
Okay, she looks like that all the time.
Shut
up, Owen. I'm talking to Megan.
I can't wake up with the hair, but I did put on a face especially because, hey.
Oh, you look fantastic. All right, so guys, first of all, congratulations on putting together Open Spaces. And why don't you explain it in your words? Because I've tried to articulate what you're doing, but I probably can't do it as well as you can. So go ahead.
Okay, so, it all started when I realized that, a lot of the dancers were struggling out there. Started out as a backup fund just to help a few people. And then we realized there was a massive need. We also realized that I was listening to you just before I came on, and you were saying that, South Africans support the arts and stuff. And the truth is, South Africans need artists. They want us to survive this thing. And we're trying to help artists survive that, because it's not just about the fact that people are struggling. A lot of the artists are going, I don't want to do this anymore. There's some really talented musicians who are giving up. Trumpet players. I mean, there's a singer I know who I've persuaded to carry on singing because he's incredibly talented. He's going, I don't want to do this anymore. The people don't, the government doesn't care about us. Why must I keep doing this for a living? I need to find another way to sustain myself. If this ever happens again, I can't be in this situation. So when we get out of this, there aren't going to be any artists. And then what do? We're an essential service for the soul. So we're trying to help artists stay in their homes. We helped someone last night. A benefactor gave someone the money for their rent for a month through one of our posts. So yeah, that's basically what we're trying to do.
So guys, I mean, the whole idea of the struggling artist is something that always comes up, right? And artists throughout history. I mean, we did an episode of Blind History the other day, which is a podcast series we do, and we were covering the great composers. So you got Mozart and Beethoven and Bach, and these guys always had problems with money. And it seems to me like a lot of the time, and there are very successful artists who never have problems with money, God bless them. But, you know, it is a very insecure business to be in, because especially if you work in the corporate field and you do like corporate entertainment and you guys would do awards shows or whatever it might be, those people, there's nothing going on at the moment.
Go, Megs.
Look, yeah, I mean, look, that's always a very interesting question. And I've always said this, if you know your hustle, you're going to be okay. But artists always have this weird habit of rolling in it for 1 month, and then the next month they're broke. We are gonna have to look at other ways to earn an income. You know, maybe some side hustles, some side businesses that can sustain us. But also, I mean, you know, our industry, we're not the sharing type, and we don't have something, you know, that inspires fellowship. You know, no one tells you about gigs because they're afraid that you're going to steal their client and then you're going to be hired for the next gig. In the meantime, if you know your hustle, there is work for everyone. There is actually work for everyone. I mean, my side hustle is in experiential marketing, and I mean, I've suffered because it's all events based. But I did have a side hustle. I was doing other things aside from doing the corporate entertainment and teaching and things like that. So it's important that you understand your hustle.
You know,
Yeah,
Gareth,
I think that's a good point. Well made, because there are too many people, and I mean, it's good that you bring up the jealousy and the fact that a lot of artists, whether they're performers or other kinds of artists, are terrified to share anything because they're worried that it's going to impact their bottom line, and you know, they start to think of themselves a little more than anyone else. I'm glad you brought that up because it is true.
But the truth is, I mean, relationships are the currency of the future. I've always said this, but actually it's the currency of right now. It's not about keeping people sweet. No, you have to build real, honest, authentic relationships. I mean, honestly, I'll be honest with you. Lately, I mean, I haven't even had to audition for things. They just call me because they know my previous work and because I've maintained those relationships. That is what it is. And you'll feel it now. Connection is everything.
Well, listen, I understand that some of that is because you're an experienced professional, but you're also lucky. I mean, there are some people who, not because they're not professional, they just, there's nothing going on for them. And this online stuff, a lot of it doesn't work. You know, a lot of the online stuff, it's not as powerful.
What's
like
also
dancing. I don't want to see a dancer on on video.
Exactly.
You're not going to pay the kind of money that you might have before.
No, and that's the point, is not every art form translates online. And also, there are thousands of performers in South Africa who don't have access to fiber, who don't have access to Wi-Fi. You know, they have a little bit of data on their phones and that's it. They can't go online and entertain people to make money. They just can't. That option is there for them. So that's another thing. Our slogan is artists helping artists. So we don't want a handout. Performers like to do what they do. We do what we do because we love it. So we want to be doing that. We don't want to sit at home and get a donation. So the whole thing with Waiting in the Wings SA is about creating entertainment so that the artists who are in that show, like the one we have coming up, will get a percentage of every ticket sale that goes to them for performing. But there's a percentage that comes to us, so we can help those artists who can't be in that show because they don't have access to what these artists do to be able to be in it. So everyone is helping everyone, but we're at least getting to perform and do what we love, and we're giving the audience something back. We don't want a donation. We want them to buy a ticket.
And I'm glad you also aren't saying that you want government to bail you out. Like we had someone on the other day who was saying, no, he quite likes the idea of government helping artists. No, I think that you perform a service and people are willing to pay for that service. And there's no reason why you have to go around with a begging bowl to some MEC in order to get some cash in the bank, you know?
Exactly.
People will support you for doing what you do better than anyone else.
Absolutely. I was saying,
South Africans are generous. Let me tell you something. I know South Africans are struggling, but there's that South African out there who will take that 70 Rand and buy a ticket to support us, because South Africans are extraordinary people. They really, really are. And I've never really been that proudly South African. My friends all know that. But this lockdown has taught me something. South Africans are special.
Okay. You were going to
We
say,
have
Megan?
we have seen a lot of generosity and a lot of magic in the last couple of months. And I mean, especially now, 3 months in, where we're trying to keep people in their homes and we're trying to help them keep their assets that they worked so hard for. A lot of generosity and a lot of magic we've seen in the last couple of weeks.
I'm glad to hear it. So tell me about the concert. Let's get into that.
Go, Megs.
All right, so open spaces. This is what's so fantastic about it. Yes, we are live streaming. We've got incredible artists. I mean, we've got Cordelia, and I mean, you know that girl can sing. She doesn't just sing; she
She's
sang.
amazing. She's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
What a vocalist! And we've got Timothy Malloy, we've got Daniel Barron, we've got Ilse Klink, we've got Sita from Wonderboom, we've got Vicky Sampson, for goodness sake. And she's performing with Sterling EQ. We've got this incredible orchestra. And I just want to say the Johannesburg Youth Orchestra hasn't received any funding since this COVID-19 shutdown. So we are extremely proud to collaborate with them. Also, the difference with this entire process, I mean, I know that you guys are very used to seeing concerts on your couch. The artist is in their kitchen, the artist is in their living room. I don't know, the artist is in their bath. I don't know, but we're not doing that. We
How
are
are you doing
taking
it
these.
differently?
We want to return to these open spaces. This is a message of hope. We want to return to open spaces like parks and theaters and things like that. So we are actually taking our singers and we are shooting them outside.
Amazing. I love that, because you're showing people that they can get out again. I mean, a lot of people are suffering from some kind of Stockholm syndrome, where they're actually they're imprisoned in their own houses and they're too terrified to go out. Plus, so many of these things that you see where, singers, dancers, actors, performers are in their houses, they're actually very mediocre. A lot of them,
exactly.
a lot of them they need an audience, and a lot of them need some technical production as well. So if you're doing it professionally, it makes all the difference.
Megan, that's such a good point, because I actually put pause on my debut album because I just thought,
please.
It's not the best representation.
Darling.
For God's sake, can you imagine?
Let me know if you need backing vocals, darling.
I'm sorry. I think it's because Gareth heard it and he put a stop to it, if you ask me.
Trust me, I wouldn't even be able to sit through hearing it. Okay, so tell us, what's the plan of action here? How can we get involved?
Okay, so we've got a website that's up. It's very basic because we've just started it, and it's waitinginthewings.sa.co.za, and people can go there and there's a button that says book now. They just click on it. It'll take them to the quicket.co.za site, and they can buy a ticket. If they can buy 5, they can please buy 5. Give them to your friends to watch. If you can afford to buy 1, that's fantastic. If you can buy 10.
Just quickly, were there any artists who you guys approached who said, "Oh no, I'm not doing it for that money"?
Yeah, that's a conversation we'll have with you privately.
Yeah, we should have that conversation
let's talk about
offline.
Let's just talk about the fact that yes, there are truckloads of money for events before this lockdown came along who would not do this for free. And the interesting thing is that all the artists we have performing now, we asked them, not one of them asked for a fee. We offered that to them after they said yes. Not one of them asked about money. Not one.
That speaks very well of those people who are on board.
Yep.
Exactly. It does.
Okay. It's amazing how you see people's real colors when they're under pressure. Huh?
Let me tell you, COVID-19 has revealed everything. And it's sad that it took a crisis to reveal it, but now we know.
Did you have any idea, Megan, how many shitheads there were in your industry?
I didn't, and it's so funny because Gareth, I mean, I was doing corporate entertainment. I was one of the busiest entertainers in Johannesburg before this thing locked down, and I'm amazed because these artists are living off royalties. I mean, I'm a recording artist. None of my music is on South African radio, but they're living off royalties. They're okay, and they couldn't just come through.
Megs, they're not just living on royalties. They're living on like 160 grand a gig fee.
Yeah. And here I'm making 3,000, 4,000 rand on a gig, and I'm just thinking, hey, something's got to change.
I've got an anonymous artist on the line. Hi, you two. The reason you do so badly is because you're not as good as me. Go ahead.
That's what they think.
All right, but
I had no clue.
This is a terrific lineup. I'm very excited just because I mean, there's so many names on there that I would watch. I watched one of these concerts the other day. Rubber Duck did one, and I was sitting in my lounge watching it, and it felt like I was there. It was actually pretty cool. I'm not bullshitting
Awesome.
you. A lot of the stuff really is substandard, but these guys they put on a great show. It felt like I was really being entertained, and sometimes it works. If it's done properly, it can be very, very powerful.
That's it. I love the Ducks.
And don't forget, we have Harry Sideropoulos, who really is an incredible vocalist. I mean, the only thing lower than the Rand is Harry Sideropoulos' voice, literally.
Sure. Yeah, he can hit those bass notes. Yeah, all right.
Insane.
Listen, you've sold me on the idea. I'm excited for you, and I congratulate you both on being brave enough to do this, because everybody has ideas, but the ones who actually get them to fruition, make them happen, those are the people I think make a difference in society. So what is going to happen to the money? How do you distribute that?
Well, we have people who apply to us through our Facebook page.
I know it's vulgar to talk about money, and
no, this is what it's about. This is what it's about. Yeah. So we send out grocery vouchers and sometimes money vouchers, because we feel it works better than a food package, because sometimes people need to buy data. Sometimes they need electricity. So they can take that to the store and they can buy what they need. And
so many of your colleagues are drug addicts as well, and you don't want them spending their money on drugs.
Look at Sia's face. Thanks for that. I mean, talking to someone who's never taken a drug in his life. I don't smoke alcohol for the first time at 39. Thanks for that, Gareth.
Yeah. All right.
I think you're confusing us with all the radio people.
Oh yeah, sure. They can't afford drugs, trust me.
See, because they can't be seen. They can't be seen.
Yeah, so and look, there are special cases where there are people who've gone, I'm about to lose my car, and we send them a little extra. I mean, we can't pay for their entire car, but we send them a little extra. If they stuck without their rent, we send them a little extra. It's just, it's gotten to that point where people are now losing their homes, losing their cars. And I wanted to say, I understand that South Africans everywhere are struggling. I just want to tell your listeners that being a freelance performer is like being that business owner. It's different to salary from a company. We are self-employed. We wait for the phone to ring. Even when we go out, I've always been one of those who's created my own stuff. Yeah. But there is very little help for people who own businesses. And we are our businesses. And that is what makes it so hard for us. We are not employees. And it's really difficult for us.
Well, I mean, that's why I had you guys on, because I thought there are plenty of people who, they have a way to make ends meet. And it's not really about who's deprived at the moment, because pretty much everybody's in a tough financial situation. But what makes the difference here is that you guys aren't asking for a handout, and you're not sitting around waiting for someone to save you. You've got, you like anybody else, you've got a plan to make it happen, and that's what I love. So congratulations again. It's good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, Gareth. This is awesome. Thank you.
All right, you two have a happy day, and good luck with the concert. We'll all be watching. And
awesome.
Let us know how much is raised at the end of it. It's terrific.
Absolutely.
We will do. Thank you so much. Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, Sia.
Good stuff. All right. There's Megan, Victor Carlson, Owen Lanza, directors of Open Spaces, and you can find out more about the concert. We'll also put the information up on cliffcentral.com. But it's all happening on the 2nd of August at 7 p.m. Tickets 70 Rand. 70 Rand is not going to put you in debt for the rest of your life, and you might be able to help some artists to pay their bills, which doesn't sound to me like a terrible idea. Right, Leanne?
Absolutely. Love it.
Very good.